We all know some of the classic uses for bamboo, like crafting sticks, crafting scaffolds, feeding pandas, as a fuel source, and some decoration. Welcome to a new video of BigBrother161, and today we'll learn how to farm bamboo. It's really curious that any farm I could think of also works for sugarcane. These two plants are very alike. So some difference is that sugarcane actually has to be planted aside a water block, but bamboo doesn't. Also, sugarcane only grows to 3 blocks high, but bamboo grows a lot more, as you see over there. Another fundamental difference is that the sugarcane is a block you can pass through. But if you cut bamboo, you can see that items or objects land over it. But as well as sugarcane, you can see that bamboo may be planted on dirt, grass block, coarse dirt, rooted dirt, puddle, mycelium, sand, red sand. And also bamboo, after growing, it reaches a certain height, which is going to vary between 12 blocks and 16 blocks, as you can see here. And also the relative position the bamboo occupies inside the block is going to vary from block to block. Another thing we have to take in account is that after cutting off the second block in height, you will see that each block of the bamboo is going to turn into an item, and each of these items is going to land in a different direction. For example, this bamboo planted here over this block of puddle. We cut this block and you will see that each item is going to land inside this area, a 5x5. And we can do this again and again. Actually, very few of them land outside. So let's see our first farm, if you can call this a farm, but yeah, technically it is one. So this is a very simple plantation in which we have used an area of 20 by 30 blocks. Total of 600 blocks. So we just surrounded with a wall, and on each of these blocks we planted bamboo. The materials used to build this farm are these ones. For example, some blocks used for walls, in this case leaves, the 600 bamboo. We're going to use some blocks and 2 doors. And in case you do not build this farm over dirt, you're going to need 600 dirt. Also some opaque blocks in order to border the area, as you can see here, and 2 doors. So when the bamboo grows, we just come here, and we can use one of 2 tools pre-designed to cut the bamboo down: the axe and the sword. Of course we can do this by hand, but a better tool to use is an axe. And of course the best tool we can use is a sword, where we can just sit on this place and turn it over a circle and cut all this bamboo down. The problem with this technique is that we have to go over this area and pick up all the items manually. At the end, letting all the bamboo grow to the top, cutting it down, we have obtained these results in one harvest. In one full harvest, we have filled up more than 2 double chests, giving us a total of 7,879 bamboo in one harvest. In this case we used a netherite sword, and the remaining durability was 783 out of 2031. Now in farm number 2, we're going to try some automatic solution. So here we have this small concept where we place an observer facing this way, feeding into a block, and when the bamboo reaches a certain height, just in front of the observer is going to activate the circuit, making the piston break the bamboo. Not doing this in every single bamboo, and to save up some observers, we can have this arrangement like here. For example, one observer activating a whole row of pistons. In this case, instead of facing the bamboo, we're going to place the observer facing a daylight sensor. As the daylight varies across the day, the power given up by the sensor is going to change also. And in each of these power changes, the circuit is going to activate the piston, cutting off the bamboo. So the way to make this modular is the next. Here we have taken this space of 30 blocks long by 4 blocks wide. So here in the center on 2 rows, we plant a bamboo, and the side we place pistons, over them some blocks, redstone lines, being activated by the observer, facing the daylight sensor. You will see this on the 2 sides. You will see under here there's a space. So we come here to the front, flip the trapdoor and go underground. You're going to see our collecting system is simply this. some rails, and a hopper minecart, which are going to go under the dirt and collecting all the items. So we just come here, a redstone circuit that activates, for example this button, it goes over and comes back. So in order to imitate the previous farm, we're going to take that area of 20 by 30 blocks. And as you can see, we can fit this model 5 times. Placed side by side, the farm looks like this, giving us a repetition of 5 modules. The collecting system is underground, and you can see that they are all being activated by this daylight sensor. So the result we have obtained, given that this is a continual use farm, instead of the previous one which is measured only by 1 harvest, is this one, and we did a test of 20 minutes. What we have obtained is this. So in 20 minutes we were able to harvest 1798 bamboo. So pretty much a chest full. A projection towards 60 minutes or 1 hour, we would have 5,398 items. And the materials we have used to build this farm are the following. So we have some redstone, some copper minecarts, some pistons, the collecting system will be composed by rails, some doors, ladders, and some extra redstone components. And of course, all of these blocks, some opaque blocks, some leaves for the walls, some illumination, glass, bamboo, and the dirt. So to build this farm we will need 2 spaces like this. So we have this big one of 22 by 32 by 3 and a small one of 22 by 5 by 5. So first we have here in the middle of the space and place some ladders to a top and a trapdoor over here. And on the other side as well. Over here in this division, we're going to build a wall with these opaque blocks. Closing over here. Just over this block, we're going to make a row over this edge over here. Till the end, flip over the corner. And come here. Now we're going to leave 1 block space here. And start to fill this up. So first we have to measure 7 blocks over this direction. Fill it up here, and when we come here, we just place some illumination on the extremes, redstone blocks on the center, which are going to power the power rails. Now we come to the other extreme, and we're going to do the same. Measure 7 blocks over here, fill up the space, over here, illumination, illumination, redstone block, redstone block. And on this middle space here, we're going to fill it up with our secondary block. And that way we have our first module. So we're just going to make an example. Now we come to the front and we're going to close off this wall over here. To the other side. Now just over here we're going to finish up our perimeter. Just in the front part, we're going to place some glass and close up this area. Now we come here, just on the front, and we're going to place our 2 doors. Just over here also, leaving 2 block space. Now we come with our leaves, and we're going to finish up the walls. 4 blocks tall, over all the perimeter. Of course, leave the spaces for the doors. Now, going underground, we're going to build our collection system. We place a double chest, feeding it a hopper, just place some slabs, just in front, and we're going to continue, repeating the pattern. Now here we're going to put a rail here, just over the hoppers and power rails. But remember, on this corner we're going to flip the rail. Of course we come here and continue the entire track, going around just over the redstone blocks, some power rails, and continue with the rails. Of course, if you think that having power rails is cheaper than rails, you can build it in all the straight parts and just leaving the normal rails on the corners. So here we take a turn, power rail, continue with normal rails, and going over here. Just break this rail over here, and we're going to make this curve, replacing it, and placing the power rail again. Just in front of the power rail, we're going to place a block, and here our hopper minecart. Now we come here, just over the rails, we're going to place all the dirt, in this case grass blocks. And we get to the end. Now on the sides, we're going to place all the glass. One block high. Over here, and the other side again. Just over here, and placing inside all the normal pistons. And again on both sides. Just over the pistons, we're going to place some opaque blocks. Now, on the extremes, we're going to measure 15 of distance with redstone dust. Place a block, and we're going to do the same on the other side, finishing the redstone lines. Now we place the daylight sensor, and facing up towards the daylight sensor, the observers. Now we just start to place the bamboo. Like this. Now in order to build our central circuit that is going to activate the collection system, we're going to do this with glass, with opaque blocks here. Each opaque block is going to be placed just in front of the power rail, which is going to activate the hopper minecart. And we build a redstone line just over this area. And the second opaque block, we're going to come down here and start to place the slabs. Like this. Here is our repeater, redstone dust, comparator, redstone dust, just over here. And we're going to place these repeaters here. One on the first delay, and the other one as well. Now we place some opaque blocks, and we're going to interrupt these connections over here. Now on the second block, we're going to place a redstone block, and a sticky piston. A block. We take out this glass, daylight sensor, and an observer. And done. Our system is already cutting off bamboo, and when the daylight sensor activates, the collection system will start to work, sending off the minecart and start to collect all the items. And in order to finish up the farm, we're just going to repeat this module I show you here 4 more times. And this takes us to our third and final farm. In the previous video I showed you how using a flying machine we can cut down sugarcane on the second block. Where the flying machine gets to the end, goes back, and when getting to the extreme, it activates the collecting system based on hopper minecarts and collecting all the items. Well, our third farm reproduces this concept, where instead of having sugarcane we plant bamboo, and this being bamboo we do not have to waste space placing water blocks. And here we can use fully this area of 20 by 30 blocks with 600 bamboo. So now we're just going to see the differences. Our first fundamental differences is of course on the previous farm we have this switch with a node block, but now we have this observer facing the daylight sensor. Of course bamboo grows really tall and really fast, so instead I prefer to have a collecting system that works continually. Our collecting system will saturate pretty easily. Another change is that I remove these blocks here and place a barrier with leaves. So each bamboo that is cut down and thrown away by the slime blocks, remember that when the flying machine goes back, it does the same, they land over where the hopper minecarts are. Instead of the hopper minecarts being separated each 4 blocks, I place one system each 2 blocks, like you see here. So instead of just having 5 collecting systems with hopper minecarts, we have 10. So this way we don't have to leave the farm growing bamboo all the time and not collecting it. And this is a continuous collecting system. But beside that, the farm is pretty much the same as the previous one. So I do not want to make a full tutorial on this farm because it is pretty much the same tutorial as the sugarcane farm. But anyway, I will leave here the list of materials you will need to build it. including the modifications. So we have the bamboo, the dirt blocks, the opaque blocks, some glass, ladders, and leaves for the walls. And here you can see the collecting system based on rails, power rails, hopper minecarts, and some redstone components. Of course, don't forget our tools. So what was the production of this farm compared to the previous one? You can see that this one has a lot more area to grow bamboo than the previous one. This one is more complex to build, but I kinda like the simplicity of the previous one. And the result for our 20-minute test is the next. We have obtained almost a double chest full. 3,188 bamboo. Projection to 1 hour is 9,564 bamboo, and that is the result. So let's build one of these farms and let's prepare for 1.20 when the new application of bamboo come, like signs or fences or rafts. This has been BigBrother161, and remember, I will be watching.